Greetings friends and welcome to the treasure chest gameplay guide. In this video I'm going to show you how to add treasure chests into your game that your characters can interact with, that can shoot out treasures and gold and all those sorts of things. Alrighty friends, let's get stuck in. Okay friends, the first thing we're going to do is actually design our treasure chest. So we're going to go to guides, put on the grid snap, sculpt mode. We're going to go L1 and square to make it a little bit longer. That looks good. And we'll stick that down. Then we'll press triangle and make a kind of little cavity in our treasure chest so that, you know, the place for the treasure. Next we're going to make a new sculpt, and this one's going to be a cylinder. And press L1 and square again, make that length nice. Then we're going to go to section and click here so that we've actually only got half a cylinder. And there we have our lid, just like that. Now we're going to go to the back of the treasure chest. And we're going to go into gadgets, and then we're going to go to connectors, the reddish pinkish one over here. Then we're going to go bolt. Now with L1 and down on the D-pad we're going to reduce the size of the grid so that it's pretty small. We can also sort of center it by using L1 and triangle, center it on the treasure chest itself. We can make it even smaller, however small we like, and then place the first one on the bottom part of the treasure chest and the second one on the lid of the treasure chest. Now we're going to press L1 and square on the connector itself, and using L2 we're going to rotate it so that the kind of circle, which is the sort of rotation radius, is going to be like this. Swing. So in other words, it's going to be opening like up and down. Okay, sweet. Then we're going to go use limits, and then we're going to make it so that the blue level, which is kind of the resting level at the moment, is also going to be the bottom. So we're going to go guides, turn off the grid snap. We're going to use the bottom part of the treasure chest and line it up with the blue side. So in other words, this is the lowest it can be opened, or this is kind of like the full range of where it can be sort of closed to. This is the lowest, and the highest we can make it pretty big. We can make it so that the treasure chest kind of goes back pretty far. And now if we test it out, woohoo, we can see it goes like that, and if we try and go down, it goes like that. If we try and go even further down, it won't, because of course this yellow line represents the sort of limits of where it can go. You can make the back part here go even further if you like. Whoa, that depends on your preference. Cha-ching, you know what I'm saying? But yes, as we say friends, whatever works for you. Alrighty, but now let's get to the logic part. Woohoo! Now that we have our working lever, what we're going to do is we're going to go into gadgets, then we're going to go logic and processing, get ourselves a nice microchip, and this is going to be our treasure chest microchip. You can name it accordingly. What we're going to have inside here is, well, first we're going to go to sensors and input and get ourselves a trigger zone. This trigger zone is going to detect possessed controller sensors, in other words the player. And we can make it so that it's like a square or a cube or whatever you like. Cube, sphere, all those sorts of things, and we're going to place it so that it's in front of the treasure chest, because of course if the person's standing on the side of it or behind it, we don't really want them to be able to open it. So make sure that it's kind of in front of the treasure chest, and depending on how big your character is, you might have to increase the sort of the width or the height of this. Perfect. Next thing we're going to do is make it so that when our character comes up to this, it's going to give our character a bit of a display of what they can do next. So we'll go move as an output, and then we're going to get ourselves a text displayer. And in this text displayer we're actually going to power it with the trigger zone, and in the text here we're going to go open with a sort of angle bracket, and then we'll say you can make it any button that you like. I'm going to make a triangle. You put it sort of between these curly brackets, these sharp brackets, angle brackets, whatever you call them. And then I think what I'll do is I will make it so that this is kind of a bit of a circular guy. I'll turn off auto fit so that I can have a bit more fun in terms of the exact shape and size of it. So it's fairly circular, looks pretty good. Then I'm going to make it so that it is, I'm going to go into settings and make it so that it's in the scene. I'll put on our old grid snap again, and I'm going to move it so it's kind of high, so it's when you move over or when you come close to it, it's going to sort of appear, and you can make that a bit bigger too. You can change the color, you can have a time. Alrighty. So now when our character comes close, it's going to display this little thing that says like, "Ooh, you can now press triangle." So let's give this a test by dropping in a little puppet. So I'm going to go gameplay gear, get ourselves a blank puppet, just a basic boy, and put him over here, and let's give it a try. He's going to go up to it, and when he's close, oh, we can now press triangle. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Perfecto. But now we want to actually make it so that something happens when he presses triangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into gadgets, then we're going to go sensors and input, and we're going to go controller sensor. We're going to delete all the existing wires and connect this trigger zone to the power of this controller sensor. L1 and square on the sensor, and we're going to go important properties and make it remote controllable, because you don't want to actually be able to possess the treasure chest unless you're making a completely different kind of game. Next thing that we're going, just a bit of humor. The next thing that we're going to do is make it so that when our character actually presses triangle, something's going to happen. And what is the thing that's going to happen? Well, we'll put down a little timeline, and in this timeline we're going to put down just a keyframe, and then we're going to turn off this grid snap, and we're going to have some fun and make it so that when we sort of open it, it's going to, so we put down a new keyframe and it opens. Cha-ching! So over here we've got, yay, that looks perfect. But now one thing that we're going to do is reduce the size of the timeline so that it goes right up to this. It makes a little sound, like a little coconut sound. And coconut sound? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. And what happens is basically this means that this is the very end of the timeline. But we're going to actually add a little piece of logic in between here, and it's going to be a counter. This counter is going to be connected to this controller sensor. So when we press triangle, it's going to add 1 to the count, and then when the count is full, it's going to power this timeline. We must make sure that the timeline is set to sustain. Okay, sweet friends, now let us have a look to see if this works. We're going to go up to it. We can now press triangle. If I press triangle, it opens. Yay! Okay, sweet friends. So that's pretty much all there is to it. To add in a few more bells and whistles, one thing you might want to do is make it so that this only displays if the character is nearby, and, so we'll put down a little AND gate, and the count is not full. So we're going to make it so that this guy, we're going to move it a bit over here. We're going to delete this connection. Make it so that, okay, if the character is nearby and the count is not full, in other words, the treasure chest hasn't been opened, so we're going to connect this here, here, and here. And basically what happens now is it's going to make it so that, and we'll connect to the power port, it's going to make it so that if the character is nearby and the treasure chest is not open yet, it's going to display this triangle button, which is like open the chest. If, however, the counter is full, in other words, the chest is open, it's not going to display it. So to show you what it means practically, okay, cool, I can press it, and now it disappears. So if I press triangle again, nothing's going to happen. Okay, sweet friends. Now, if you want to sort of shoot treasures out of this, that's totally easy. All you do is you go to your timeline, you'll add in a nice little emitter, and in your emitter, which you'll have over here, you'll just emit your particular object. So, for example, you might have, you know, let's add something like a gold coin. Yeah, boy. Okay, we've got a nice gold coin. That's cool. And it's gonna be shiny. It's gonna be metallic. We'll give it a bit of a glow. You know what I mean? There's a nice lava shiny coin going on over here, and it's having a great time. We're gonna make it so that it is movable. And we're also going to make it so that when this is open, it's going to shoot out this coin, or maybe even multiple, who knows. We can have a crazy time. It's going to shoot them out. Alrighty. It's going to shoot out a bunch of coins. We could actually make it last sort of fairly long. Once again, make sure it goes up all the way to the end. And now some crazy stuff is going to happen. Oh, look at all the treasure! Treasure! It's amazing. Friends, that's all there is to making a particular treasure chest. I'm going to release a slightly neater version of this logic and post it online. So yeah, friends, if you want to make your own one, you now know how, or if you want to just use mine with a little bit more neater logic, you can use that, and that'll be up in the description of the YouTube video when I post it. Okay, sweet friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was a diamond in the rough, a treasure, you might say. Thanks for bearing with my terrible jokes, friends. Have a good one. Peace out! Hey, thanks for watching, friends. I just want to give a massive shout out to my Patreon patrons, or as I like to call them, the Mean Knights. Thank you so much, Tap Giles. Ooh, thanks so much, Tap Sensei. Whoop whoop whoop. And Salt Levels Max, my first patron. Ah, ye. Friends, if you want to support your boy and get access to some bonus content, consider becoming a patron. Thanks for watching, friends. Peace out!